Paul,
You're... What?
you happen to have a raincoat on you?
A raincoat?
Yeah, Durex, perchance? Maybe skins? Goat skin, maybe?
Are you really going in that direction?
I might. But what's better than that? Let's go with the trusted line, Trojan! Welcome back, Power Trip Gaming Retrospective. I went there, I took a vacation, I came back. I did it. That should just be the thumbnail right there.
We're,
with you two with your hands in your head in your hands. Yep.
We're not endorsed, nor do we
Use them.
support them.
Saying sexist for suckers.
Oh, for God's sake, stop it. Stop it.
Don't be a fool. Rep your two.
That's good. I like that. It's very clever. A Power Trip PSA. Wrap up. Wrap up if you're gonna strap up.
Or as Hulk Hogan says, leave that bone alone.
Oh my God. This is not going anywhere.
No, it's sure not.
It's the only direction to go, boys.
Honestly, this game is pretty terrible.
Yes.
So, yes.
Oh
so
my
we
God.
are.
It's Trojan for the NES.
We are covering Trojan.
Game 57.
God, this game was terrible.
It wasn't terrible.
You're only saying that because you were the one who beat it.
Because I was good at it.
You were good at it.
Yes, it's Trojan. I'm pretty sure it was an arcade game. When did it come out?
1986.
1986.
And it was released on the Nintendo in 1986 as well.
Yes.
It's so Nintendo came out to the mass. Well, honestly, to be quite honest, it was launched as a pilot in 3 areas in 1985. So Nintendo really came out and hit the stride in 1986. So this was
Right.
one of the basically earlier titles of the Nintendo.
This is a very, very early
And
title.
you can really tell that it was one of the earlier titles. It wasn't a black box Nintendo game because it was actually produced by Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it really doesn't help its case much.
No, but there was, I will say, for 86, it actually didn't do too bad. For what it needed to do.
I guess for its time, yes.
Yes. So basically, you're Trojan Man. You're going through, I want to say it was 5 or 6 stages.
I think it was 6.
Sword whipping a bunch of bitches. You got a shield that you can rotate in all the directions, which is a cool touch. And it's something I really don't think they ever really did again. Because even in like Adventures of Link, you have the shield you can block in front of you, but you can never block above you. So it was a cool touch that you could hold the shield and redirect it, which it came in handy. You actually needed the shield a lot.
Yeah.
But you go through the stages. You fight the fighter from Final Fantasy at the end of the game, Achilles. He looks like the fighter or the knight, I guess. Once you get promoted, he looks like the knight from Final Fantasy. Look it up, Andy. Just throw up the image. Who gives a shit. But and then there's like a versus mode where you and a buddy can just whip the shit out of each other. And that's Trojan. Not much to it.
No, there's 6 levels.
That's what.
And they're broken into 2 segments in each level. You'll beat one segment, which is like a halfway mark. You'll usually do like a sub boss, and then you'll do the second half of the level. Overall, they're not long at all.
No.
Even with, I think, did you even practice a little bit beforehand?
15 minutes.
I think you did. But even like the second or third time that you played it, you beat it within like 12 minutes. So I mean, it's a pretty simple game. It was really easy.
This was a very short video.
It was a very short video. Not a whole lot to it. But as we will discuss, though, I appreciate the precursor of what this game was and what it led to versus actually appreciating the game itself.
That's where we'll differ.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you got? Any info on the game for us?
I don't know. What kind of info do you want? It's... To be honest, there's not much to add, because,
No, there's really not.
like, there are certain little elements that are nice touches, but, like, the majority of what the game does, there's something else better on the NES that does exactly what it does, with the exception of moving the shield.
Yeah, true.
Beyond that, like, the game, style-wise, it doesn't really stand out. It's like, it doesn't really...
It was one of those games where, of course, back then there was a lot more of it, but you literally had 3 lives, no continues. Although this game, I will say, at least you could get one-ups for points.
Yep.
And I think they actually did. There was actually physical one-ups that you could pick up too, which was really nice.
Yep.
And then you add in, it's a lot like, was it Ghosts and Goblins, where you go through and you beat it once, you get the ending, and then to get the true ending, you have to do another run through it just to pad out its length.
Did you?
I don't recall that.
There's a true ending. There's an ending and then a true ending.
I didn't know
see,
that.
I didn't know that either. I didn't realize that you had to
Well, see,
play through
and
it twice.
Because once you beat the game the first time, it just goes back to the beginning.
Yeah, you get a good.
You get the end, but then to get the true end, which is basically the equivalent of getting the great ending.
I didn't know that.
Son of a bitch, we haven't beaten it.
No, we technically did. Our thing was we'd see an end screen.
Oh yeah, because we did that with what is it? Spelunker is the same way, where it's like if you beat it once, you get an end screen. It's just technically in order to get the true ending, you have to beat it like 4 or
Mighty
6
Bomb
times
Jack
or something like that.
Mighty Bomb Jack, we did that with.
It's because of games like that we decided to do the an end screen.
Just get an end screen.
It doesn't matter what ending we get as long as we get an ending.
Doesn't matter if it's a bad end or a good end. An end screen is an end screen.
Yeah. So but you have to go through the game twice. And it's one of those. And another thing is like having to beat all. You could do the stages in any order. Kind of nice. Mega Man did that though. So.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Doing the stages in any?
You could do this. Yes, you can actually do the stages in any order.
No.
Yes. Okay, unless it's the arcade version.
I think you're thinking the arcade because this one was a straight.
This was a straight path. It was literally like Ghosts and Goblins, where you follow a path.
There's one version where you can do them in any order. There's not a set order in one of the versions.
That's definitely not the NES version.
Nintendo.
Yeah, you're definitely looking up the wrong.
I must have been watching the stuff for either the arcade or the PC version.
I think you were looking up arcade.
You know, Kevin.
Hey,
I know. We wanted to have you say a little bit more. Say a little bit less.
No, fuck you, Paul.
Better seen that hurt. All right, get back to your stool.
No, but like, and the fact there's that big of a difference between versions, though, that's kind of
cool.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing the arcade version.
Yeah,
just like the arcade version of like Dragon Spirit or Legendary Wings. I think had an arcade version.
Yeah, I think,
it would have been cool to see those differences. But anyway, that's basically the gist of it. Let's get into her. Let's move on to difficulty. What do you got for difficulty?
Well, this one, honestly, it doesn't get high on a difficulty, even though I think I got my butt handed to me, but that's because, like...
It was your first time.
It was my first time playing. I had never played it before. And a game that you had never played before either, you were able to eventually, like, beat the game in 12 minutes. So, I mean, and that was, like, the 3rd playthrough. That's not the makings of a hard game. So,
no.
I mean, honestly, I would give this game... I would give it a 3, probably, for difficulty.
Okay.
Because it doesn't take long to get used to this, or to get used to the controls or anything. The controls are what make it difficult because of the fact that you have to push up in order to jump.
There's no temporary invincibility.
There's no temporary invincibility.
Some of those bosses can just eat through your life bar.
But on the other end of it, though, there's no temporary invincibility for them either.
No. Which means you can just walk up, and as fast as you mash that button, you can
mashing
take
the
out
button,
their
and
health
that's
bar.
it. Yep. Exactly.
I was going to go 2.
Oh.
Ooh, really?
Okay.
The vast majority of the enemies, you can just walk past.
That is true.
If you watch our playthrough...
If they come from behind, they never can catch up to you.
No.
That's it. You just keep walking forward.
Keep walking forward, deal with the ones that come in front of you, and the levels are short.
Yeah.
The bosses really aren't much other than the one that has the shield and then shoots the fist out at you because his pattern's more erratic.
Yeah.
He was the only real hard boss, and I think he's the only one that actually killed me in my playthrough. Unless I died.
I think because you only lost 1 life, I think.
Yeah, I think
or
so.
2.
But otherwise, even Achilles, it's just block, and then once he swipes, swipe him. Block. Once he swipes, swipe him, and that's it. Like that's all you have to do is just counter. So like, you don't have to deal with anything behind you. The levels are short, and you can just walk up and pistol whip everybody. Like there's really nothing difficult about it, especially because there's power-ups you can get. You get you make your weapon stronger, so you're taking off two hits instead of one. You get more health, if I want to say. There's a couple of extra power-ups you can get.
I don't think you can get more health. I think you can
there's health
replenish.
pickups.
Yes,
Well,
you can replenish your health.
yeah.
Yeah, you can replenish your health. You
Yeah.
don't ever get like a bigger life bar or anything like that.
No, yeah, that's what I meant. There's health pickups.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a terribly hard game. It's very short.
It's only in the sense like it's cryptic because
little
of the
bit.
sense
Little
of like the pickups. There's no traditional pickups. You have to jump up and swipe your sword, and then things will just magically appear or materialize.
The good old fashioned swing at nothing and hope for the best.
So I mean, it's interesting, but once you realize that it's like you can do that at your leisure because you're going into the sewers, you may have to take out one enemy in there, which is not hard, and then you just at your leisure swing away to see if you can find anything.
Yeah.
So
in that sense, this game is.
I'll echo your sentiments then too, and I'll say it's a 2.
Like you said,
it's a side scroller that you can tell that it came out in the early era of the Nintendo where they were still looking at like what the possibilities were, what they could do. And even though it doesn't really lead to fun, I appreciate what they did with this game. Because as just a brief history, so the guy who worked on this game was Takashi Nishiyama. And there is a 2-player mode in this game.
That's right.
But it's very similar to what they did with Double Dragon, where they could not program 2 players simultaneous. So they did a 2-player simultaneous that included a basically...
head-to-head.
It was a head-to-head versus mode.
2 Trojans, you go up and you just start swinging and do whatever you do.
Absolutely. And so what Takashi Nishiyama is known for is that after this game, so he used to work for IREM, which he worked on Kung Fu or Kung Fu Master, whatever you want to call it, which was basically that. It was a side-scrolling, but it was kind of a versus mode type game. And he added that into Trojan, which then was the precursor to what became Street Fighter. As a direct one-on-one versus game where it was just a bunch of battles.
Which, that's really wasn't anything that had really been done on the
It
NES.
hadn't been done before. It was the closest that you had was Karate Champ.
Yeah.
That was it. And I think Karate Champ actually came out in 1987. So this actually was before that.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of all the fighting games that are on NES, not many.
No.
Like, it's tournament fighters.
There's TMNT Tournament Fighters.
That's like it.
And Karate Champ.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, there really aren't
There are no versus games.
No.
Which is why I appreciate that they did that with Trojan. I appreciate that they did that with Double Dragon. And then you had TMNT Tournament Fighters and Karate Champ. That was it.
Yeah,
So I appreciate that, but I think actually that kind of leads into fun. What do you give this game for fun?
So, I do...
It can't be that much.
Oh, yeah.
I do, like you said, I do appreciate what this game tried to do.
But it doesn't translate to fun.
But it kind of does, in a way. Because, I mean, think about the era this came out. You had platformers, black box sports titles. There really wasn't much variety of games on the system. This was a departure from what the NES had been putting out at the time. There wasn't much like it.
Yes, there was. There was Ghosts and Goblins. It was literally a carbon copy.
In 86?
Ghosts and Goblins
When was
came
Ghosts
out.
and Goblins?
It came out in 86.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that looked a lot better.
Yeah.
That was also disgustingly brutally hard.
It was brutally hard. so you basically
But-
you like this game because it was easier.
No, not necessarily easier, but it was just more fascinating because games.
You can't even say Ghosts and Goblins.
Well, because it's Ghosts and Goblins, but it's also Ghouls and Ghosts.
Ghost.
There's like 2 different names for it because on the Genesis, I think it's Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yes.
Yes, so I always get confused as which one it actually is.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins.
That
Yes.
one came first.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah.
You couldn't block in that one.
No.
You can block in Trojan. I would rather play Trojan 1,000,000 times.
I love
over
the
Ghosts
fact
and
that
Goblins.
that is your saving grace.
That's
is
my
the
saving
fact
grace.
is that you have a shield.
That's right.
Give it a 10 for fun.
God damn it, a 3. Close.
10 for fun.
I'm gonna go.
God bless that shield.
I'm gonna go for a 3. I think the graphics actually aren't that bad for the time. I think the backgrounds are pretty good. I do like your character model. It's not Trojan. It's not like a Trojan warrior in the sense of like time appropriate, if that makes sense. It's like a dystopian future kind of Trojan. You know what I mean? I like the setting of it. I do like some of the enemy designs. I think the final fight's actually kind of tense, even though it's super easy. It's a cool atmosphere. It's a cool atmosphere. You fight in that throne room.
Then why is it tense if it's super easy?
Because it looks neat. The song changes. Just shut the fuck up.
I think you're
speaking for someone who couldn't beat it. I'm speaking for someone.
You're speaking as somebody who's proud that he can actually beat it.
He's trying to justify his beating it.
Pretty much. No, I give it a 3. I think it's...
Paul tackled Castle Quest. This is my goddamn Castle Quest.
This is my Castle Quest! No, this is a 3. I'm going to go 3 with this.
I mean... I will say the environments are probably the most unique of this game. That every level does feel like its own unique environment. That was neat of it. The enemies are definitely recycled.
Oh, 100%.
Throughout every one of the levels, they only change palettes. That's all that they change.
There were like 3 enemies.
I think there's 3 different enemies, 4 different enemies.
Like Kung Fu, where it's just the huggers, the knife throwers, and then the midgets.
And then of course you've got the boss characters who are a little bit different.
Yeah. Actually, this felt like Kung Fu.
It really was.
It basically was.
Yeah, it basically was their version of Kung Fu, where you went through different levels and you followed a different pathway, so that it felt like you weren't just doing the same level. Although Kung Fu was more of like, I've always considered Kung Fu was like you're in a high rise and you have to get to the 5th floor to get to your love.
That basically is, yeah.
And so this is like you're just descending. You're descending to do whatever it is.
I don't even know what the story is.
I can't remember. I think the instruction booklet has the story at like the last page of it or something like that.
You go to kill Achilles. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's basically an afterthought.
I understand. That tells you how little.
Yeah, the story really didn't. Yeah,
story is.
They didn't care about the story at all. It wasn't a solid part of the game.
They were more concerned about the mechanics. Damn it.
Yeah, and
up to jump.
And yeah.
That's an unforgivable gaming programming thing right there.
Fuck you guys.
I can't stand any game that gives it that
I know.
up is jump. To be quite honest, as far as fun goes, and the music is forgettable.
Oh yeah,
well.
it's not great.
It's not great. Yeah, the graphics are okay, but when that's all you have going for it, like
No, I understand if you don't go up to the 3. I'm willing to dip to a 2.
I think honestly it's a 2, and it's sad because I do understand that it is a victim of its time, where they were doing what they could do with the Nintendo, but at the same time you had games that were better looking, like Super Mario Brothers looked fantastic.
Yeah.
With the environments. Ghosts and Goblins looked amazing. The environment
Ghosts and Goblins was fucking incredible. I mean, graphically.
Yeah, graphically speaking, it looked great. Yes, it had the challenge, unfortunately. But I mean, this game looked like a copy of Kung Fu, which did come out in 1985. So I mean, it's... I just don't see that there was a lot of, like...
Not a lot of redemption in it, huh?
No. Like I said, I appreciate the fact that this was the precursor and led directly to Street Fighter. So
that's it.
But that's it. That's
you
it.
like what it became.
I like what it became. Yeah, yes. not what. Yeah, not what they brought to the table.
Not what it became. What it inspired.
That's what I mean. Yes. Well, I'm inclined to. All right, that's fine. I can understand because you're right. There's a lot of fucking glaring faults in this game.
There's a lot.
Almost too many. So there you go. 2 for difficulty, 2 for fun. Paul, what did you pay for Trojan?
You know, Trojan, I want to say this was one of those games that I paid like $1.99 for. Back when GameStop was selling Nintendo games, and I would buy any game that was basically anywhere between 79 cents and $1.99, and this was on the side of like $1.99. back
Wow.
This is one of those titles you had to dig into the bottom of it like basket to find.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like the cartridge art and everything looked really neat. Like the box art's actually really good, and Trojan stands out really cool on the cover. But
unfortunately, that was a Capcom trope.
Oh,
is
yes.
that their box art? They put so much time into their box art to try to sell that game, even if it was a pile of junk.
That's not just a Capcom thing. That's like a Nintendo thing.
That was a Nintendo
Let's make
thing.
the box art look a million times better than the in-game stuff, because everything else in-game looks like trash. But we need to make this as flashy looking as possible.
To be honest, I would say that even goes back to like Atari.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So, as of this video on PriceCharting.com, $8.36. At the time we recorded this, about 6 years ago, it was $3.61. So it's had an over 50% or over 100% increase.
It's went up with inflation.
Gone up with inflation. So we'll obviously go with the price of what it goes for now, since we're going off of where we play it. $8.36.
It was worth what I paid for it.
$1.99.
It is not worth what it's going for now. I don't even care if people are like, well, $8.30 some odd cents, like that's really cheap. There's still better for that price.
Not a Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
No, and there's still better for that price. I mean,
Yeah.
Ghosts and Goblins is not an expensive game, I don't think,
Not that I can think of.
unless it
Well, I'm
has
gonna say,
gone
yeah,
up.
there's-
But I mean, I would rather play Ghosts and Goblins than this game.
Would you though?
To be quite
Zelda
honest, I
2,
would.
like
not.
there are a ton of better beat 'em ups than this. So
Yeah.
like, why would you go? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like going for like bottom shelf liquor when you can have the nice stuff.
It's like going for sirloin when you can have filet mignon.
Why?
Why?
It's more of like scraps compared to the fillet.
Fleischmann's, and then you could have Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Head vodka. No.
I would rather, like, who wants 25-year-old aged cheddar, sharp cheddar, when you can have Cheetos?
Hey,
I'd rather have the cheddar.
I'd rather have a blowjob from a cactus. All right.
Yeah, but see, that's not. You'd try that anyway, so it doesn't count.
Trojan man. You like what I did there?
So yes,
Oh my God.
2 for difficulty, 2 for fun, $8.40.
It's just not worth it.
Not worth it.
Not worth it.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's enough bang for your buck.
No.
Even back when we recorded it for $3.61, I don't think that would have been worth it.
It's so
long enough.
It's so short. The controls are not that great. The variety in the game is just not there. There's just the same enemies over and over again.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's just not there.
No.
Unfortunately. So
No, it's not.
that'll do it for this Power Trip Gaming retrospective.
Yeah.
So, hit us up on Facebook.
Hit us up on what?
Facebook.
No, okay. Hit us up on Twitter.
Go to powertripgaming.tv. Almost fucked that up. You can watch all of our other videos as we're plowing through the Nest Quest. The link in the description will take you to the Trojan playlist, and by playlist I mean the one video that it actually is.
Yeah.
It ended up
It's,
with a half hour.
it's a great... No, it
was like 25 minutes.
26 minutes, actually.
Yeah, and that's with the wrap up.
And that was with the wrap-up and me fumbling around for, like, the first, I think, 2 levels or whatever.
Yeah, I think you played for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, you can also check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify for our Power Cast, where we talk about Nintendo games, video games, comic books,
Pokemon.
anything. Pokemon! Lots of Pokemon.
Lots of Pokemons.
Because of you guys.
Hell yeah.
Maybe if someone had something to talk about every once in a while.
Maybe if you were versed past Ruby and Sapphire.
Dude, I played the...
Technically, you did play Diamond and Pearl.
I did.
Technically.
I did. I played
In a
Brilliant...
technical sense.
Why? Because he watched you play it? Doesn't
No,
count.
Brilliant Diamond.
He's got-
I've
yeah,
got
he
Brilliant
played-
Diamond. I played through it all.
Oh,
I beat it.
recently.
Yeah.
Not quite the same.
And I played Sword.
That's true. And you did play X and Y.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And I liked X and Y.
You just missed.
I feel
black
like
and white.
yeah.
Like how
I feel like I'm the only one who actually liked X and Y though.
I loved Y.
I loved X and Y.
Did you? Like
yeah.
but is that the
Legendary.
consensus, or do people generally just not really care for that one?
It's Pokemon. It does the same thing like Zelda does.
Because I just
we love this one. We hate the new. We were unsure or hate the new one.
I just liked how dark they made the world.
Yeah.
Because that's when they really dove into the whole Pokemon world.
You missed out on 2 of them. 2 gens.
Yeah.
Black and White, Sun and Moon.
And Sun and Moon.
I like how this conversation went from Trojan
to something more exciting.
Because we really don't want to talk about Trojan.
That's right. So next time on the Power Trip Gaming Retrospective,
we'll review something better.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Because the next coupling are going to be pretty good.
Ooh.
You're going to like them.
Ooh.
Stick around. You're going to like the next 2.
Pokemon!
That's right. We're going to start a journey from Kanto to Johto to Hoenn to Unova. No. Sinnoh. Unova.
Don't have a stroke.
Alola. No. Damn it. What was X and Y?
I don't know.
What was the region in X and Y?
I couldn't tell you.
Man, fuck it! Fuck it, Trojan!